what's going on this Monday.
Hey, Scott, thank you very much. Hey, Steve, what's happening over there?
It's a Monday. Took one of my worst beatings in swing trade for a while, but that's neither here nor there.
Right, yeah, a little banana in the tailpipe for Monday action. Um, so, welcome everyone. Today is the 14th of March. Feels like it's been forever since we had office hours, and kind of it has, but welcome back. Before we get started, real quick here, just want to make sure everybody's aware of the disclaimer. Keep in mind that all the information that we share with you guys in this webinar or any of the other webinars that we have coming at you on a weekly basis is for educational purposes only. So if you need investment advice, what to buy, when to sell it, all that good stuff, please do yourself a favor. Seek out a registered investment advisor or someone else like a Series 7 licensed stockbroker. In other words, someone who is legally allowed to dispense investment advice to you. So once again, all the info we share with you guys is for educational purposes only. And always like to take a little bit of time at the top of the hour here, especially for the new folks in the room, to kind of let you know what we have going on as far as all the webinars and support go. And it all kind of starts off up here with the trading room hosted by Barry Anderson. Barry does a fantastic job at moderating a room of could be 300, 400, 500 people at any given moment. And he doesn't mind answering questions once he gets past a couple of the opening first 2 hours of the market or so. So it's a great learning environment, and the best thing about it, other than Barry, of course, is the price, which is $0.00. And you've got traders in there from all walks, right? Beginners, intermediate, and advanced. So it's a high quality room. If you haven't been taking advantage of it, by all means, get in there and see what it's all about. Of course, on every other Monday, which is today, you get myself and Steve for office hours. On alternating Tuesdays, Steve's going to take the helm and he's going to ride shotgun with him for the Trade of the Week webinar. Alternating Mondays, you get Dan Merkin, our CEO and founder, along with Brad Williams. Always entertaining with those two, typically giving you a peek at things that might be coming down the developmental pipeline. Also got some new stuff to show you guys today too. So should be fun. Alternating Thursdays, you get Andy Linloff with the Trading Studio. I ride shotgun with him. And every day, Monday through Friday, we have our daily support session, which starts at 12 p.m. Eastern and lasts until 1 p.m. each and every day. This is a great place to get your questions about anything TI related answered in a live environment. On the next screen here, you'll see how to get there. Here it is right here, trade-ideas.com/live. That's a static address, so once you get there, you can simply bookmark it for easy access. It's going to be live broadcast on our YouTube channel. So once again, great place to go to get anything answered in live in real time by one of the resident trader/trainer individuals here at Trade Ideas. In addition to the other educational resources we have, this is a really good 4-part video series. It's been, I guess it's kind of aging a little bit now, creeping up on, I guess, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, about 5 years or so now. But a lot of these topics do not change. So 101 all the way through 401. These are hosted on our YouTube channel for Trade Ideas, so you can just pull them up and watch them at your leisure, pause and restart them as you have time. So once again, if you're new and you have not watched 101 and 201, by all means do yourself a favor, because it'll sure help you get over that learning curve a lot quicker than not watching these videos. All right, and here we are with today's agenda. So Steve's going to give us the market recap in just a moment. My compare counts for the large caps, which I'll point out here, oops, when we get rolling here. Pretty good read on the markets today. Holly struggling a bit today, kind of a losing day across the board on all risk modes, but hey, that happens. She's been on a pretty good streak as of late, but took our lumps today, and we'll go over those trades and take a look at the sparse opportunity that was there. Then we're gonna delve into the stock races, and I've got 3 different stock races that I'm going to deliver the cloud links to you guys so that you guys can start watching them as well. And these are just 3 that I've found the most useful. Of course, you're only limited by your imagination when it comes to stock races, but I'll show you what's going on with these, some interesting correlations with some of the other windows and techniques that I use as well. Um, Extended pre-market hours, yay. We now start at 4 a.m. Eastern time for the pre-market. And we've got the Market Explorer with some freshened up bull and bear flag scans and inside candles. Inside candles have been a highly requested item over the years, and we've finally got some for you guys to check out. So Steve, if you're ready to take it here and
Sure.
take a peek at those big tracking ETFs, I'll kick it over to you.
All right, here we go. Welcome to my desktop. Let's bring the SPY out here a little bit. So the big story is the SPY, the Qs, the NASDAQ, IWM, what have you, remained under constant pressure, just kind of bouncing lower here with these moving averages, pretty much catching the price at every bounce, throwing it back down. I mean, last a couple weeks ago, the 20 in the red, the 20 in red there was catching a lot of bounces, but then now we really can't even catch a bounce above the 10, the declining 10. So this is momentum on the way up, guys. We've talked about this for a couple of years of what good charts look like on the way up, with the 10-day simple moving average holding the price and supporting it. That's gone. We are on the other side of the mountain now. We are in a seller's market. I'm not going to call it a bear's market, but it's a seller's market where you want to sell the rips. You just look at the intraday stuff here, and every time the market tried to rally, it just got sold off, especially this morning. Tries to sucker people in and then just closes weak. Not good for the bulls, but there's usually something out there that can work. And that's why today was such a difficult day for me personally. The S&P is showing down 0.75%, 0.7%. That didn't really tell the story for somebody who was long like gold miners here. Pretty bad day in the gold miners. Oil stocks, I'm long some oil stocks. Rig trade of the week rig is considered one of those. That one had a rough day. I mean, let's go ahead and type that in here. Blew through the opening bounce there, did not bounce on the 10-day SMA. So what's happening is a lot of these commodity stocks, oh, and then solar, CSIQ, and got hammered in that today. A lot of these stocks that were just golden a week ago just turned over and got body slammed today. So essentially the market was down 0.75%, but my positions, except for one, were all down 8 to 12% today. The one that wasn't, and I kind of like it still, if you're curious, is RKDA. This is a bioscience, pesticide, and agriculture. Okay, so it's an agriculture chemical play. We hear the Russians and Hungary and most of Eastern Europe is not interested in letting any of their wheat be exported now. So there's starting to become some concern and discussion about, well, how is that going to affect our agricultural market? And a lot of the names, including CF, which is a big bellwether, have been showing wonderful strength going in. And this one, for whatever reason, decided to hold the 10-day moving average. So I'm still bullish on these ag stocks. That's the one that kind of helped bailed me out today, RKDA. But other than that, the gold miners, the energy stocks, the silver got me again today. Rough day. The percentage down in the SPY don't really tell the whole story. But if I have to leave you with anything, it's not a buy the dip market here, guys. It's not a buy the dip market. We do have the Fed coming up on Wednesday. Looks like the NASDAQ tried to test that low tomorrow. You know, any gap up tomorrow to me is just going to be suspect as another reason to pop up and sucker people in, then maybe sell. I think we have a foregone conclusion that we're gonna test that low there in the Nasdaq, and they seem to be the one that wants to get there first. IWM, quick check on that. Yeah, the Nasdaq is the weakest of the bunch. Technically, it's returned to the scene of the crime. This was a giant reversal day right here in all indexes, but we have given all of that back. That's not the kind of thing you see in a buyer's market. It's the kind of thing you see in a seller's market. So you just got to be in the right sectors. I broke my rules. I kept rig today before anybody asks. You know, the technical trade was to hopefully catch a bounce here off that 10 SMA. We did not get it. We closed in no man's land. But for me, I'm just going to break my rules here and say I'll see what happens down there at the 14 cents lower at this red backstop. Maybe tomorrow it jams down and bounces off that red 20-day moving average. We'll see. But not one of my better days. But yeah, it's crazy out there. That's all I got, Jamie.
Thank you very much, Steve. I like that. Returned to the scene of the crime on the cues. All right. So hopefully you got eyes back on my screen now.
Let me double check.
All right. Yes. Okay. I thought I was talking to myself there for a minute, but the mute button is not pushed. Okay. So Holly, let's go ahead and knock out the Holly recap here. Not a lot to see. We had a total of 11 signals, and typically the three things that I like to showcase when we do a Holly recap. Number one, conservative versus moderate spread. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Let me get my pen here. Conservative versus moderate spread, trade arounds, and add-ons. Well, pickings are pretty slim, conservative versus moderate spread, almost non-existent. So let me just show you what I'm talking about here. So here we have moderate profit right here, conservative right here. And typically at the end of a day, that's not today, we'll see a lot of spread between these conservative profits and moderate profit values here if it is a winning day for the AI. So, looking at these two columns here, what do we got? $3.50 on the DD trade. It's kind of funny because when, this morning trading, watching, the AI, waiting for the signals to come out, we all kind of had a chuckle when we saw the DD short because it's such a low price security. Let me just pull up a chart on it real quick here. And you can see right here, the AI getting short, and we're all just kind of chuckling. Yeah, there's a whole lot of downside left in DD, sitting down there at $1.99. But lo and behold, it did turn out to be the biggest winner today from a percentage basis, as you can see over here in the conservative and moderate profit columns. 10.3% in the conservative mode and tacking on a little bit shy of two additional percent there, about 1.7% in DD. So low price stock, gave it a good chuckle, but turned out being the biggest winner of the day on a percentage basis. So it just goes to show you, you never know how much room something might have left to go, even though it is low dollar. Looking at the chart here, not really any good opportunities to tack on size there. If we didn't have this little wick down on the open here, maybe when this range was broken, right about here, would have been a nice time to add on, but that's not the way the cards played out. If we play by the rules and use that low, well then there you have it. Interestingly enough, it did over time capitulate back down to that level. But not really a whole lot to talk about here as far as conservative versus moderate spread. A teensy little bit here in the WRK. And by the way, did forget to mention that all the values that you're seeing right here on my all trades blotter are based around being in 100 shares of each position. Usually I have mine on risk based of $100 risk and letting the system size you in. But for some reason, I've just felt compelled to put it on 100 today. So the bottom line is this, a little bit of spread in there, 30 bucks, so 42 bucks of spread in there. And we can see right here, the Holly buy, and this candle right here is where Holly exited. Typically, we're seeing a shaded area during the time spent in conservative mode, but for some reason, my shading has disappeared on this developer's version, in case you were wondering. So really the only conservative versus moderate spread to be had was this tiny bit in WRK. So moves us on to the next topic here, trade arounds. Typically, trade arounds are when we see a stock get stopped out or a position get stopped out in Holly, and we can see a couple of those today, 3 actually. MARPS was a stop out on a short here, boom, right through the stop area. Now notice what it did around the stop area. How did it act around the stop area? Well, it just consolidated for a little bit and went higher, never pushed back through it. So not a good candidate for a trade around. What about the other one? Let's see, MARPS, CFG. Notice what it did as well. We got a sell here, right back up to the stop area, stopped us out, ebbed and flowed through it. Eventually did come back through it and got back down to the signal line. But this is not the type of action that you typically want to see when you're thinking about trading that. Down below, back above, down below. We want something more like what we saw in Triple V here. Now, this is a textbook example. Seeing the AI get stopped out, watching the stock, observing how it acted around the stop area, and this is pretty much textbook, okay? Buy up here, get stopped out here, nice little wick on the 15-minute candle, closes back above, and then we get green, 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 off to the races. So this would have been, if you're in the chair at the right time, you saw the AI get stopped out here, this is a perfect trade around opportunity. All right, the AI got stopped out. Let's observe. Let's see if the stop area acts as a little level of support, a little springboard action here. When we get these wicks below, and then we see the next candle green, that's a pretty good indicator that, well, might want to take a shot here. Use just outside of that wick as your stop loss, and it would have worked nicely. So that's a great example of a trade around. Other than that, just a pretty bleak day for Holly. On 100 shares each, if we were on conservative mode, down 141 bucks. Moderate, 300, and of course, if you were just buying and hoping, about 600 bucks in losers there, which is never recommended. You know, using conservative or moderate mode when tracking AI positions is definitely the way to go. All right, thank you, Holly. We'll see what you do tomorrow. So let me get this guy out of the way here. And as you all know, stock races were released many versions ago, and we've been kind of polishing them up as of late. And all of us here at Trade Ideas are still noticing new things with races that we watch. And I've got a couple of good correlations here. Not only were the races that I was watching, that I've been watching for a while, still spitting out some good movers with plenty of time to get in there, I've now started to notice some overlap between one of the other techniques I like to monitor here. I don't have it on the bill today, but those of you who attend on the regulars are familiar with these windows down here, these two top lists, which are my prior day rippers, or what I like to refer to as previous day rippers, because what I do is I take these top lists and see all the stocks that are on them about 5 minutes before the close, and then I create a watch list for the next session. Okay, so these two windows right here are pointed to all the big movers from Friday that these windows spit out. So just to recap here, in case anybody hasn't seen this before, I'm going to take all of these stocks and put them in the list that these windows are watching to watch for tomorrow, with the simple, theory that, hey, if they were in motion, if our cat was in motion to the tune of 63.8% today to the upside, look at that big green candle, it's probably not going to be docile tomorrow, right? Same way with the downside version. So what we're going to see here is some correlation between the stocks that I was watching from Friday's moves coming through these windows showing up on my races. And this has been happening, or maybe it's just that I've been noticing it after watching these guys for, 5, 10 trading sessions now. So we'll get into the details in just a moment. I was just looking at the questions panel there. Mike dropped a cloud link in there. Penny Stalker. Reminds me of the old, some of the old penny strategies that we used to have in the AI, but kind of got rid of those because you couldn't really trade them anyway. Okay, let's take a look at the races that I've been watching. Hugging the 10, simply referring to the 10-period moving average. Increasing relative volume, and winners since the open. And by the way, these two guys right here, I don't know why it's not letting me highlight. Increasing relative volume and winners since the open. There's a real easy way to get to those. Now just keep in mind, I'll drop all these cloud links at the end of the session here so that you can watch these races if that's what you want to do. But hugging the 10 is one that I configured, increasing relative volume and winner since the open. I got straight from our real-time stock race channel. So those are available there as well. But hugging the 10 is one that I put together. So let's take a peek at these. All right, hugging the 10. And you can see all of the races that were run today. And each time a stock wins a race, it puts a little count on it. So ART W, 120 races today. ARQQ won 10 races today. So let me get these other ones over here. And it's kind of a bummer because I had an error in my trade ideas version today. There should be a lot more winners showing up here, but since I had to restart with about, I'd say 2.5 hours to the market, um, these all transpired after I restarted. Otherwise, we'd see a lot more occurrences here on each and every one of these winners. Okay, so hugging the 10, very simple. Let's just take a peek at the top list here. It's a real simple configuration. All right. Thank you for taking your time there, server. Okay, so pretty basic filter combination here going on. Little minimum maximum price. Had to have traded already 100,000 shares on the day. Change from the close. Can't be down. Doesn't have to necessarily be up. We just don't want it being down. Some good relative volume and some good pumping volume on the 5-minute level of 3 times or greater. Then with the change from the 10 period SMA, we just got a little -2 right there to make sure it's in close proximity. It's got to be above the 10 period, right at the 10 period, but it can't be more than 2/10 below the 10 period. So we're getting stocks that are hugging that 10 period moving average. Now, I could go through all the configurations here, but it's pretty self-explanatory here. Winners since the open. This is also looking at change from the open, not the gap, but how much the stock has moved since the official open. And then over here, we've got increasing relative volume since the open as well. Now, let me just push these guys down for a bit and we'll come back to them. But first, I want to kind of rehash here. And once again, don't have the previous day's rippers and the technique on the syllabus here, but let me just quickly recap here what I'm looking for. Taking all the stocks from Friday that showed up on this list here, and this list, pointing them to a custom list for these windows, and consulting the pre-market for the entry or the non-entry and risk tolerance. So for example, RCAT came through right here. Shrink that up a little bit. Now, first and foremost, notice the pre-market action in RCAT. Not crazy volume, but hey, that's a nice, simple consolidation. We get the first open, the first candle of the open here, 15, 30 minutes in this third 15-minute candle. We got a nice break from that pre-market range. So this is a way, and I've talked about this over and over again, a way to make earlier entries, but not worrying about just getting steamrolled on the open. And of course, this is 45 minutes in, so it's not near as dangerous. But when we get, signals in the first 5 minutes, a lot of the times people are out of the market. A lot of people like to sit out the first 15 minutes, let things settle out because you just don't know. But when we have a nice pre-market range here, we can use the bottom of that range as our stop loss, even if it's the first opening 1 minute. We're like, okay, it's up here. I know where my out is. Get in, set your stop loss. It either works or it doesn't. So beautiful range break in the pre-market right here on RCAT. Great time to make an entry, and then we can see what happened for the rest of the day. So that was yielded by watching, my previous day's rippers list, see that stock hitting a high, sizing it up, going, that looks real pretty. Know my stop loss is down here. Let's push the button. Pardon me a second here, just got to get a little drink of water. But now, let's see, was RCAT showing up on any of my races today? Let's see here. And it will be nice eventually if for post-market or even during the market, if we could sort by alphabetically, right? Because right now my eyes are going crazy. But lo and behold, RCAT 7 times here, RCAT 4 times here. Let's see, was RCAT on this one as well? RCAT all over, increasing volume, increasing relative volume. all over this one. So what we're starting to see here, what I'm starting to notice is overlap, okay? Spotted this beautiful setup from previous day's Ripper. Also had seen it coming through in the first couple of minutes. So it's overlap, it's reinforcement, okay? So a lot of the times with these races, I'm watching very short time periods, 1 minute, 5 minute, because you start getting that information quicker. All right, if we're just looking at a top list, right? If I pull the top list up for this guy and we have our eyes on relative volume column here, we're not seeing these changes manifest themselves in this visual format that we're seeing in the stock race. That's what it's all about. Same thing with winners since the open. If I'm watching this and I see RCAT, boom, 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 coming through, hey, it won a 2 minute race, a 1 minute race, it's moving the best, and then hit a high here, that's going to give me added confidence, okay? This thing is setting up nicely and it has the potential to make a big run today. And lo and behold, it did. Now, if we were trying to size this up over here on the daily, we'd be thinking to ourselves, well, when we get up here, we might hit a stopping point, right? Just looking left 101. If it gets through here, surely it might go visit this level, but we're going to be butting up against, this area back here, right? Surely it must stop. Well, this thing just didn't care. It tore through those levels like tissue paper, all right? Now, do they all do this? No, but we were getting a lot of overlap here. Previous day's rippers, beautiful pre-market range being broken, nice, nice tight consolidation and, low risk. Um, and this kept on going. So like I said, they're not all going to do this, but this thing it just, well, I don't even know what to call it. It just worked really well, busting through all these levels of, uh, potential resistance. Now we got kind of similar action in Yang. All right, this one coming really early, all right, in that first 15-minute candle, probably a lot earlier, but Yang showing up. Let's see here. Easter egg hunt one more time here. All right. Well, I know it's one of these guys. Bear with me here. Okay. Not on that one. It's probably right in the middle and I'm just not seeing it. Okay, we're at the top here. Well, bear with me because I know my eyes aren't playing tricks on me that big. I know it's on here somewhere. Where'd you go, Yang? Okay, they're trying to make a liar out of me. And it's only two occurrences here, but multiple occurrences on each one. All right, I'm not going to give up just yet because I know it's here. Okay. You got to be kidding me. There it is. Okay, bingo. Right here and right here. So a total of 9 occurrences on the Hugging the 10 stock race. Why it was so hard for me to find those, I do not know. Um, but having said that, beautiful setup on the pre-market. As we can see here. Now this one threw a little bit of a wiggle, but maybe halfway through the stop loss level, right? Never got really close after that. Boom, pull back and then off to the races. And then it set up even one more time. So when we talk about you know, relying on a chart for additional add-ons right here. That would have been a great little add-on to it as it popped highs again. And in the meantime, how do we find it? From the previous day's rippers, but we've also noticed it coming through one of our races, not just once, not just twice, but several times there, and a nice little mover in Yang, only up 20% for the session. Relative volume, really, really good. What was that RCAT relative volume? Yeah, only finishing the day at 55.43 and up a measly 48.37%. Also, we had CERN making an appearance. Not too shabby at all for CERN either, finishing the day at 2.42, up 28.35%. We got that same nice little pre-market consolidation area, and we get a break right here where the blue arrow is 1, 2, 3, 4. This one taking about an hour to hit that level. Hug the entry line. Oh no, we're going to get stopped out, but we didn't make it down there. You know, the stop was not hit. Acted like it was going to. Little elbows here and there. Comes back up here and pops this last high of the day through that resistance level right there, and then boom, off to the races in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about the last hour and 45 minutes. So your patience was rewarded in CERN. But hey, how many times did CERN come through a race as well? And this little guy was just all over the place. Look at all the CERNs right there. Not sure if it hit this one or not on the relative side, but I think it was hitting might have had some hits here as well. Not seeing it. It could be there and I'm just not seeing it, but all over this one, winner since the open. And yeah, there we got a couple of occurrences. One here on the increasing relative volume. But like I said, I lost half my data, so it could have been there a lot more. So hopefully you guys see what I'm seeing here. You know, we see a setup from one of our favorite strategies. Maybe we see it early on, all right? But if we're watching something and kind of stalking it, you know, like this one, had plenty of time to wait for it, you're seeing CERN come through races, and then you see that sweet spot get hit, that overlap with, you know, I guess confirming alerts, you know, the same symbol coming through the same stock race, the same window. That's always a good thing. A lot of times this happens with the AI. You know, I'll see it a little bit earlier than the AI will see it. And that'll give me, you know, if the pattern is clean, it's one of my favorites. Uh, Give me the opportunity to at least bolster that position, put on a little bit more size if necessary because of the overlapping alerts. So that's what I'm starting to see with the previous day's rippers and the races, and how to kind of pick and choose. You know, and it's thus far it's showing me some of the more impressive winners today, because look at the market conditions, you know, that, you know, Steve's already kind of hashed those out, what a tough day it was kind of across the board, even for some of these stronger stocks. But to have these smaller, let's see, RCAT, $146 million market cap, I wouldn't exactly call that low float. 30 million in the float right here, but not the biggest either. Yang, no float data on Yang. And then CERN, 2.62 million. So the low float on this one would definitely be a factor. But the bottom line is this: to find these three in these market conditions, not exactly easy, all right? But yet, here are three quality long plays that set up beautifully, that worked really, really well. You know, these weren't just 5% movers, 2%, 3% movers. They moved significant percentages in a down market. All right, I see some questions coming through here. Marco, what does PDR mean? Well, previous day's rippers. That's what these little alert window or the PDR stands for right here. So once again, If we right click in here, you'll notice that I'm pointing to a custom list and I'm only looking for highs of the session or pre-market highs, lows of the session, pre-market lows in the other window. And when I click on my symbol list here, you'll see I am pointed to the list known as previous day's rippers, right? So the way I collect these is when we're done here, what I'll do is I'll extend these top lists up a little bit. Then I'll highlight probably about this many right here. I'll hit Control C and I'll dump these into my list so that I can watch these stocks for tomorrow hitting highs and lows. And these are the big gainers for the day. And I'll also do the same for the stocks that are down the most, with the assumption that with big days like this, they're not just going to be quiet tomorrow. They're going to present additional opportunity. And so that is where RCAT and Yang and CERN all came from for today, is they had big moves Friday, right? And a lot of them just keep on going and going. And eventually, if they don't show up here, they'll drop off my intraday list. All right, Bill, your question, can the leading car be set to always on top so you don't waste desktop space? Let's just take a look here because they keep adding options. Show the race setup. Well, I don't see anything. Let's see. The leading car always on top. I get why you're asking, because sometimes the winner will be in the middle, right? You have to keep some space open there. But right now, you know, if I just start a race here, I don't even know if this thing's going to move post market. But yeah, Marps might take the lead. It's going to be in the middle here. You want it to stay on top. So, before I say no, no, I don't think so. There's no way to articulate into the system, or you know, there's no little checkbox right there. Keep winner on top. That might be a cool feature to add, though. I can certainly see the benefit in it in the desktop conservation topic. So, you know, you probably know the drill by now, Bill. If you want to send that feature request in, just give it to info@trade-ideas.com, feature request, and we will certainly add that to the list for you. Or as Steve just said, the delta sort. Maybe I was just thinking about it in the wrong. Uh, well, let's go back in there one more time, Steve.
Yeah, the delta sort is what you want. I had the same problem, and I asked, this is what Barry does and Chris does, so it allows you to scrunch the window down and maybe only show 4 or 5, like Bill is asking about freeing up desk space there. So you want the based on, you know, change from open, change
Right.
from the last 2 minutes, whatever, but the sort will be on delta value. Let's see, what are your other options? It's delta value.
Just
Yep,
whatever
it's that
columns
one.
you're
That's
displaying.
that one,
Yeah.
the delta
Yeah.
value, the second one from the top.
Okay.
That's the one that I think you might want to try, Bill.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's just do a little experiment here, and I don't know if we're going to get any motion here, but we'll see. We'll just let that little guy run down here. All right. So let's see. My train of thought is now derailed. So Marco, hopefully my brief explanation of what PDR stands for right here is answered. Previous day's rippers and how I harvest those symbols at the end of every day, end of day list for tomorrow's session. Okay, well, hey, RCAT's the only guy moving. What is that guy post market here? Let's just take a peek. Okay, it's ground up a little bit, 304 level. So hopefully that'll do it for you, Bill. No need to submit a feature request. All right, little time check here. Where'd my sheet go? Oh, it's hiding on me. Okay, so how are we doing on time here? All right, little bit of time left. Market Explorer, another new thing that you guys are going to have access to. For some reason, I had it in my head that this was part of the premium subscription, but I was told, nope, Even if you're just on the basic subscription, you'll have access to the Market Explorer. So check out what I do here. I just simply go to New TI Toolbar, pull up the Market Market Explorer. We get this window to pop up, and we right-click Server Window, Inside Candles, something that's been requested for a very, very long time. And lo and behold, now we have 30-minute inside bar, 15-minute inside bar, 5 and 2. So 2, 5, 15, and 30. If I just pulled this up, we took a peek. Don't know if it's going to show me anything since the market is closed, but this thing was chock full in the regular session. Oh, there they are. Okay. Well, let's just take a peek here. Moving into the close, or let's scroll down just a little bit before the close. Up too far. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of lag over here. I apologize. So COP. Well, must be gremlins in my system today. So right before the close, let's see. Well, that was inside. It didn't close inside. But anyway, you know, a classic example of an inside bar would just simply be, I'm trying to find one on COP here. You just find something that's a little bit more conducive. Okay, this little guy right here in the post market is definitely inside. Just not seeing a lot of inside bars here towards the close. In any case, I don't know, maybe this thing's not reporting properly. This is the 14th today. I'm just trying to find the inside candle there. Okay, NTR 245, which is this candle here. I don't know, Steve, are my eyes playing tricks on me? Because
I don't know. I haven't played with that feature yet, so I don't know.
this is the 245 bar here, and it does not look to be inside, right? I mean,
And that's the 15-minute scan. Yeah.
yeah, 15-minute inside bar scan. Well, maybe it gets whacked out towards the close. Let's just kind of backtrack here, because this is adjusted to my time zone, right? The market closes at 3 where I am. Let's just go back to like 1 o'clock. All right, so 1 o'clock for Lucid.
Did we ever make the NR7 for daily bars, says Bill. I don't think we ever did. However, this Market Explorer that Jamie's showing now is probably the perfect candidate to create something like that. So maybe what you can get that email back out, Bill, and send a feature request to do NR7s using the Market Explorer. And we
That
can
would be
forward that to
cool.
Michael.
Yeah, that would be cool. So there you have it. There's the inside bar. This little guy is inside that green candle. I guess I was just looking perhaps at the wrong candle going into the close. Let's look at Netflix as well. Yeah, same guy. So he's right in the same circle there. So now that appears to be right there. Anyway, what's the benefit of an inside candle? Well, it's just like kind of what Bill was talking about, the NR7s. We get a little period of consolidation sometimes in an inside candle, and that's indicative of a move one way or the other. Don't know exactly which way it might be, but it makes for a good catalyst. So we've got these 5, 10, 15, and 30. And we've also got the bear and bull flags, which has also been a highly requested window, but it's a little hard to do or not really possible to do in the old TI Pro framework. So that's why we did it in Market Explorer. So just like all the other windows, you can easily duplicate here and then just convert this window into a different scan. Server window, come down here and select the bull flag. And now we have the bull flag window open. A lot of these things kind of broke down today. No big surprise there. Oops, wrong window. Man, this lag's killing me. Apache. All right, up here flagging, but boom, a lot of weakness today. So a lot of these things, some held up, some did not. No rhyme or reason to it. So anyway, bull flag, bear flag, inside candles, all available in the Market Explorer, which you just access by clicking New and pulling up the old Market Explorer, formerly TIQ.
And just experiment and see what you find.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gents, that's about it for today. Just remember, Wednesday is the Fed meeting, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow with the Qs down there about to test their lows and the Fed meeting coming up on Wednesday. So might have some decent action tomorrow and then a little bit of chop on Wednesday until the Fed gets up there and does their gum flapping. So just keep that in mind, trade accordingly, and I want to thank everybody for popping in today. We'll see you guys next time. Scott, if you're ready to walk us out, we're ready for you.
Sure. Yeah, a couple items to address on the way out. Do check. Oh, no, you can skip that slide. I forgot to remove that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's from before the test drive. Do grab our newer ebook, the My Favorite Strategy Indicator ebook, produced by Dave Mabe, our Director of Software Development. Just go to trade-ideas.com/strategy and pick it up. It's free. If you have an Interactive Brokerage account, you can connect us with them using your account. We connect to Brokerage Plus, and you can auto trade using your Interactive Brokerage account. They have one of the best short books in the business, so go ahead and go to trade-ideas.com/IBKR to learn more about Interactive Brokerage. We have stock racing. Jamie was just demonstrating that. If you want to learn more about stock racing, go to trade-ideas.com/stockrace and learn how to use it. Just grab the newest version of Trade Ideas off the download page and watch those videos. If you have an E-Trade account, it offers zero commission trading experience, and you can connect us directly to E-Trade, very similar to the way we connect with Interactive Brokerage. You can use your Brokerage Plus account to manage your positions and execute trades. And you can even automate with a premium subscription. The code MARCHON is good for 15% off your first month or year of any subscription or upgrade. Go ahead and use that before we retire the code at the end of the month. And if you have any questions, email us info@trade-ideas.com. That goes to our help desk. It gets you the support you need. If you want to find Jamie on Twitter, he's @QuantBots. Steve is @TISteveG. There's also @Trade Ideas and some other handles too from us. Of course, our YouTube channel is youtube.com/Trade Ideas. And you can find us on Facebook as Trade Ideas Pro. The recording of the session will be up later on tonight or tomorrow, so stay tuned for an email update tomorrow with a link to the playlist. Thank you, Jamie and Steve. Y'all have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Steve. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.